Hi, my name is Yuri. Welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to share with you a DIY that is perfect for fall. So my goal in my home is to combine two different styles. The first style is industrial and the second style is Mexican modernism. So this is a perfect DIY that brings those two elements together. I saw a video on TikTok of this person making. I'm gonna put the video and who made this centro de mesa. But this centro de mesa was like a DIY cantarito, and they did the cute little flowers that go on the cantaritos. You see this design on a lot of pottery, on a lot of cazuelas, and just like the bigger jarras. We are doing that style on this pumpkin that I got from Michael's.
So the first step is to use painter's tape to section off the middle of the pumpkin. That's where the design is going to go. You section off the top and the bottom. The challenging part is getting a straight line, so you're gonna have to keep eyeballing to make sure that the line isn't crooked. It helps if you pull the painter's tape to adjust to that curvature. And once you have the top done and the bottom, we double check to make sure that the middle is big enough for our design. So for my preference, I wanted to mattify my pumpkin, so I went in with this black color that dries matte. And this will help with the cleanup in case there are any mistakes. For this part, you want to make sure you're only painting in one direction. If you paint in multiple directions, it is going to show. I am doing horizontal because the first part is to put on 2 green stripes onto the pumpkin. As you can see, I already have my 2 green stripes on here. Unfortunately, I was not recording when I did this. I'm sorry, it is my first day on the job, but this is the next step. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our first stamp. I'm using a marker that has a round end, and we're going in with like a dark burnt orange. When stamping, be careful not to press too hard into the pumpkin because that pressure will cause the paint to spread. Then I just use the brush tip to fix any imperfections. For this part, you want to make sure that you are always re-dipping for new paint, and you want to make sure that there is enough paint on the marker. There should be at least like a little blob, like a little dome. Now, I don't really think you need to spread every single circle with a brush. It's just my Virgo tendencies driving for perfection. So if it looks okay to you, we keep it moving. On this last section, you really want to analyze and take in how much space there really is left and just measure as best to your abilities on evening out the last 2 stamps. Now this is important because you want to avoid putting too many bunched up together or having a super huge gap in between any of the circles. Okay, next I took a glue stick, a glue stick, and dipped that into white paint to create the little circles. On here, you're going to start with a stamp on the top, on the bottom, left, right, and then you fill in the gaps in between all of those. Same rule applies here when putting on I guess you could call these petals, you want to re-dip the glue stick each time, leaving that little dome. That little dome will dry flat. Now, you could stop here. She looks very, very cute, but we're gonna keep going. So you add a little dot in between every single flower. Same scenario here. You want to have more paint than you think is necessary to get that perfect dot. Here you can see I'm wiggling the brush a little bit to make it bigger. Next, we add a teardrop. We put a little dot and slightly drag it downward towards the first initial circle. And we're gonna do this on the bottom and the top. Again, if you wanna stop here because you love the way it looks, please do. Honestly, it looks really good already. It's the same thing as artesanías. They can be super simple or really extra. Okay, so we are at my favorite part. We're gonna do 3 dots on the left and 3 dots on the right. In my opinion, this brings the whole piece together. This small detail gives so much depth. To me, this is what makes it look more like an artesanía straight from Mexico. Mira, qué bonito. Wow. If you use this at your next paint night, please let me know down below. If you see this at your mercado next fall, you saw it here first.
Joining me on this journey for my first ever DIY here on YouTube. I hope some of you get to incorporate this into your house for fall. So I'm excited to implement styles like this and many more DIYs and projects.